Hi, welcome. On this video, I'm going to be providing a day 10 update for Lucy. Lucy's here for a total of 14 days on a board and train. And Lucy's issues have been one of expressing a lot of power, expressing aggression, and here, while she's been with me, she's showing remarkable progress. So here, it's the same thing with, I show with dogs and they're holding a certain level of power. It really puts a real high level of stress on them at the same time. That's why, even with Lucy, you get these appears like fear-like reactions with them pulling away, but again, it shows how the mind pulls inward. It's like a holding on. But the reason it's so problematic is the fix comes through leadership, okay? And I show very clearly how a dog's decision-making process is influenced at that level, at the relational level. So the dogs are relational beings. They understand this whole dominance issue. You have to understand dogs at that level, at the relational level, to understand what that all really, how that all comes into play. And it's really, really important about thinking rightly. So it's all about coming into right relationship through leadership. I mean, that's really important because what I show is behavior or the dog and human relationship can be very, very deceiving for people if you're just looking at appearances, if you're looking at response and how it all appears to be lining up by using certain types of motivating agents or certain concepts, okay, through learning ideology or learning theory. You can be totally thrown for a loop because you'll make certain assumptions about things moving along when in reality they're not. Especially if the person isn't coming into right relationship through leadership. I mean, that's critical. So if there's a disconnect between both, you're going to be left with kind of left being deceived, basically. So here, what I'm going to do for this update is to show exactly, and then give you some people some pointers as to what to look for, indicators to know that things are following along the right path. And one of those is, if you watch my first video, you'll see just how much, it took me a lot of time to get the muzzle on Lucy, because again, it's all about, making sure that Lucy's coming into the right script, that we're bringing her into the leadership script, and that involves, influence. Okay, so as we're bringing her in, we have to be, again, once the dog hit that tipping point, we have to be aware because we don't want to trigger aggression. That's why a lot of people get bitten, because the dog is at such a level that just a little bit of change there, a little bit of influence will trigger it. But again, then once the bite happens, it really takes hope away from the ability to bring the dog back from the edge, because then we'll say, well, the dog is, we can't keep the dog. But here, what I'm showing people is if you do this right, if you really follow along with bringing these mechanisms of control online so that we don't have to fear getting bitten during the role changing process, it makes things a lot easier on both the person and the dog as well. So here, what you're going to see me doing one of the times is how they're accepting influence, even as I'm putting the muzzle, okay, on Lucy, okay, how she's accepting it. And you're going to see this speeding up a lot. So basically, I put the muzzle on her, she's accepting influence, and which is a good sign. That's actually a sign that you'll get to a point pretty quickly where the muzzle can come off, okay? Because that's the whole thing, is everything kind of comes together, the bridge is being built, everything comes together. You'll see the dog accepting the script, okay? And then we can get to a point where these mechanisms we use for control fade out, they fade away. Even the crate fades away. But right now, we have to sever those connections. We have to, because dogs will make very unhealthy connections, even that's why you have issues with other dogs, other people, other interactions, other situations, because it's about finding fulfillment, comfort, and power. That's why it's very deceptive about making assumptions based on how the dog's even, interacting and relating with certain people, because, dogs will objectify, okay, which means that they'll devalue, other people based on, on the script. And therefore, you'll have the picture of a balanced dog at a certain level, but you won't be able to figure it out, because you'll still see there always, and this is the thing to understand, there always will be behavioral clues that role change has not happened. So sometimes people will try to separate both and say, well, the dog is balanced in these set of circumstances, but if I walk my dog in the street and other dogs and squirrels, I have major problems. So it must be whatever. No, it's because the dog has not been role changed, okay? And that what you're seeing at just the physical level is not based on the dog's decision-making process being influenced relationally that way at all, okay? That's very important. So, I tell people that's why I keep talking about this. You watch my videos, you're talking about this. That's the most critical point. I mean, that's why people are getting themselves into all sorts of trouble, including trainers who really want to think that somehow you can learn your way out, okay, that you use certain ideas and bring a dog into a state of balance. A lot of deception in that. So I just want people to be cautious. So here, when I'm putting this on Lucy, you're going to see a difference. Again, it's all about, making it so that I can, maintain a really good way of thinking, okay? So, you want to use a muzzle for a period of time so that you can really be confident, okay? That you can express, leadership, so you can bring a dog under a level of influence, and when I qualify influence, it's what's reasonable, okay? People try to, qualify as unreasonable, all this stuff. If you see, it's all about, leadership. It's the balanced approach. So it'd be like the authoritative parenting style. If you want to look at a parenting style that I'm working off of, it's the authoritative parenting style, which is the balanced parenting style. Of course, there's always unbalanced both ways. The real problem in society right now is more the permissive parenting style. That's not to say, bad, dog owners who don't bring a dog into leadership, but permissive parents. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's about emotion, okay? It's about the mirroring process. So you can check that out. But in this video, again, an update on Lucy. You'll see me bring her into the script. So this little clip here is just going to be with the muzzle, okay? You'll see how this goes down, drawing her in, putting the muzzle on her. And then you're going to see another clip of me of actually doing the walk again. So the walk itself, understand the walk is meant to help to change out the foundation, okay? It allows me to interact with her in a way that's meaningful. So when you're doing the walk, you're doing any interaction to help to create relational change and work off this script, work off the relational model. Any interaction should promote that, okay? So try not to separate, because dogs don't separate, training from life. It's about changing how people think, okay? That's very important. And sometimes that's a very tall order, okay, to try to change how people think, but that's basically what needs to happen. But the good news oftentimes is people are already, have a very confident leadership personality type, and you just need to draw that out of them. You have to get them to bring that online better, okay, and to tighten things up so it's meaningful. So when you look at my relational model and the interplay that work and how I do things, even how I'm bringing the dog into these positions, very important that you follow what I show, because that's what really is going to make a big difference. Even a movement here, a little push here, and again, when I say pushing, you're never aggressive. Even a lot of techniques, because I'm showing this clip too, is what you see on this clip is me working the down position, starting to work the down position with Lucy. Okay, but it's about dropping dominoes in her mind. Okay, try to think of it that way. It's like the dominoes are dropping, but you have to, be aware of how to drop the dominoes. Okay, that's why, the first few days when I'm working on the relational model, I'm just using the sit position, okay, to create the moments, to follow the moments, and to gain traction and to bring influence online. I'm not just trying to down the dog right away. That's a bad idea, okay, because you'll get bitten, or you could trigger aggression. If you're trying to down a dog. So, and sometimes those positions, when people do that, it's just a sign of releasing frustration. It's not following the right relational kind of path of change. Sometimes when people do something, it's because they're frustrated, but they're not really changing. So just understand, dogs know the real deal. Okay, they know how this ultimately lines up. So you have to promote it as through an intervention. Change has to follow the right path. So the dominoes need to drop just kind of in sequence. So it's the sit position first, and then when a couple of dominoes start dropping, then we go into the down, and then we just kind of branch off from there. So here, I'm going to put the muzzle on her. When the muzzle goes on, I'll stop the clip, and then you'll see the walk progress as well. So just give me 1 minute. Oops. Ready? Lucy, come. Yeah. Yeah, good girl. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Down here. Stop. Stop. So just so people know, the other dog barking. Quick. The other dog barking in the background is Berg. Okay, Berg is a very high drive dog, as you can hear. And again, I'm role changing him as well. So, it's all about power. But the ability to have, to work off two dogs gives even Lucy an advantage because, her issues with other dogs. And so when I'm doing this, I'm working both dogs off each other, but as me as a pivot point in a very controlled way, okay? So it's all about how you do this. So even Berg has to interrupt those states, express states, you don't want them to get too high. So here, I'm going to shut this off. Maybe shut this off. So here I'm continuing to walk. I'm in my backyard here, so I haven't hit the street yet, but I just want to show you the dogs I have at my fence line. So I have, even back here, Lucy will start wrapping her mind there, start expressing, and you have to nudge her out of that, okay? So, but again, it's about opportunity. So here it's very controlled. So the idea when you're doing this, the idea isn't to wind up the other dogs, okay? Like when you're doing this, be very aware of, if you're using other dogs, is you don't want to cause a problem for both your dog and the dogs that you're working off. But basically what you're doing is you're using other dogs that people are even knowing what you're doing, okay? Because it's done in a very controlled way, and it's done just working the edges, so to speak. So for example, it's when I pass by here, I'm just going to pass by like I normally pass by, but the idea is for me to nudge a little bit as she's fixating and seeking that, okay? So because again, it's about understanding separation of mind, how the decision-making process of the dog will separate at a high level, and you're fading out. So you don't want fade out. This is a fade you back in. So you have to bring the dog's state of mind under influence, okay? So it's about more of an interruption, it's a nudging, and the head will turn in towards you slightly. So, but again, it's just like opening the door up a crack in their mind and closing it again through these follower moments, okay? So, because what you're doing is you're building the bridge, okay, to so they can meet other dogs or be around other dogs, but it's within the follower script. So it's not like saying to them, you're not communicating, saying you absolutely can't meet another dog again. You're saying no. When this happens, it's going to come through as a follower to me, so through the follower script. So here you're going to see, I'm going to walk by here, and as you do, I'll point the camera down at Lucy so you see her reaction, just how this works. So you should see a little bit more of a head turning towards the other dog, but as she's doing it, I'm going to be nudging, giving her little taps to get her focused on me, okay? So here, I'm going to start walking. Just going to move towards the other dog here. Going to keep the focusing on Lucy. I'm actually moving right towards the other dog. Her ears will come up a little bit, tap, see a little tap, little tap. Now, I'm going to stay right here. The other dog is right here, okay? Here it is. I'm like just a few feet away. Here's Lucy. Now, see her reaction. Dog's moving now. Tap. The dog's right here. Lucy's right here. Okay, I'm right here. Tap, little tap. So just like, it's not hard, like it's relational. So it's not about trying to tear off a dog with Lucy's head. And knowing too, when you do this, knowing when the dog is ready for this. This is done, I'm doing this now because I know Lucy's ready for this. So I wouldn't bring her this close in within just a short time. Okay, this is like progressive. So here we're going to start moving. Lucy, here. Tap. Now we're ahead of the dog. Dog's still moving towards us here in the fence line. Lucy, sit. Lucy goes right into the sit. See how well she goes into it? The other dog is coming right behind me. Oh, right here. Now see Lucy's turn a little bit. She tap. See him tapping. Hey. See that? I go right here. Right here, Lucy. Hey. Tap, tapping. The dog's fine. So I'm doing this because the other dog isn't flipping out. If the other dog starts to really be aggressive, I wouldn't do this because I would do that to my neighbor, okay? I'm doing this because this is going down really good. And so see Lucy, see her turn her towards here a little bit. Just see half the foot. So what I'm saying to Lucy is, I own that other dog, okay? You know, I'm the pivot point, okay? I'm the pivot point here. So this is a really important exercise to do with Lucy. And then, again, this is done just in a control way. Tap, 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 tap. So I'm tapping again. Tapping. Dog's moving. She wants to look over. I'm tapping her out of that. Because the look here in this context isn't just the look. Okay, understand that when the dog is expressing a high level of power, they're wrapping their mind. Okay, it's not just the look. Okay, you have to work off this at the relation level this way for a while until then a look just becomes a look. But to know that, you have to be able to put everything in context here. Okay. You know, you can tell when the dog's with you or not, and when they're in a state of balance or not. So heel. I'm going to take her, move her forward. We're going to hit the street with her. But she did a really, you see how well she did there? But she did that, and this is important to understand, because I did well, okay? This is something where people will frame it up like the dog doing well because the dog's just doing well. No, dogs do well because people do well, okay? Because they're relational beings. They follow the script that way. So again, put her in the sit, barely got to touch her to create the sit. And that's the sign too, when you start, you know, I don't use commands for a period of time until a relational change takes hold, and then I'll start using commands, because then there's strength in the commands. That's just the other thing. You have to really understand what the goals are here and just try to work off certain ideologies. It's mind and body. So if I try to work off words, verbal language, and I'm already seen as just weak, you know, what do you expect to create with that? I mean, dogs know the real deal. So that's why you just bring them into positions. You bring this relational model online at the intervention level. Then after, say, a couple weeks, then I'll start working off commands. And now there's strength in them. Another dog here somewhere. There's dogs all over the place here, which is great for what my goals are with Lucy. So again, she's walking with me now in the street. Another dog actually come out in the lawn there a little bit. The owner's at it. Just tap, tap. So what this does is, we're going to script this way. This brings comfort to Lucy. Okay, what I'm telling her is, listen, you got everything under control. You can relax. You can be a follower. Takes the stress off her, and then she just becomes a balanced dog. You know, the follower role is a happy one for dogs. So again, but as part of the walk is important this way, to take a dog into the outside world here, because some birds come out, their little ears come up, just fine. But the issue too of, as her ears come up, I know I mentioned this on another video, it's all context, right? So at first, if, you know, ears could come up on the dogs that are pit bull, and so ears could come up on a dog like a pit bull and be highly expressive, but that's not a good thing. Okay, that's coming through a power script. Here, as you do this, the ears will come up. As you start to bring them into a follower script, sit, sit. Just start to bring them into a follower script. Okay, the ears will go back for a bit because you transition them. Then they'll come up again, but within a different script. Okay, but you can tell from, but you have to understand how the transition works to understand the right context to how a dog is expressing body language. So people can get very mixed up on that stuff because they're just working off making certain assumptions on appearances, and you have to put things in context. You have to understand context and understand what it represents, what body language of a dog represents. So here, going back, sit. So put her in a sit. Now sits are important because to stop every once in a while, because what we're doing is we're testing the mind. Okay, we're able to kind of reset, get back in the little staging area. I can tap, tap, tap a little bit and test the mind. So because if you're just floating along doing the walk, dogs will actually work angles, which means that their mind will still be jumping even though they're beside you. And this is the thing, that another one of these things that can be very deceiving.
you be walking a dog on, say, a pinch collar, and thinking that you got, man, this looks great, and it will look great at the interaction of the walk, but absolutely no change, no relational change will actually be happening. You're getting the physical form of a balanced dog because you're using the device within the parameters of control, but you're not changing. I mean, that's the point. I mean, dogs don't disconnect the two. I mean, if you use certain tools, they have to be within the relational change script, okay? So, because there's really, everything's an extension of how you think. So here, she jumped ahead a little bit. You sit her. And so when that happens, you're going to get that. She kind of surges the head for a second and bring her back into the sit. Because something kind of set her off, a little motion, movement. So all the time when you're doing that, it's important to, you never panic. You don't, not thinking anything, okay? That when those reactions happen, you just tap, tap, tap back, okay? It's all controlled. And eventually they'll wash or they go away, they diminish. Sit. So that's, I'm going to shut down the video here. That's part of this clip on her, but she's doing fantastic, considering, where we started. Because really, when you think of this, this is a very short amount of time. I mean, she's only been here for, 10 days. And considering her levels, I mean, she's made remarkable progress here. I mean, because really the leash, or the muzzle really is on a certain point, because I'm pushing her some, but then they actually can come off. But I'm not going to do that yet. Like I said, this is about control, okay? This is about being confident in what you're doing, because you're pushing the mind here. I'm putting more pressure on the mind. But here, I'm going to show you the down position, okay? Just a second. Let me open this up. I'm going to show you how the down works here. So, again, the down is the position you want to do once some dominoes have dropped. But you do it within the framework of this script. So I'm going to turn it off for a second. I'm just going to show you the down. Set that up and show you how that works. So here, I'm going to show you the down position, how that works. I'm just going to bring Luci around here. Now, my floor here, right here, is the surface is slippery enough that's conducive to help this, okay? But so when you're getting the down to happen, the technique is basically it's the mind doing it, okay? It's how I'm thinking and the picture that I'm painting, okay? So for example, when I'm start pushing on her back, I'm not saying, or you can say the word down, but there's no strength really in it yet. It's not really saying the word that's creating it. It's thinking rightly. It's about bringing everything into right relationship. So the down will start happening as dominoes start dropping, okay? Now here, I'm not going to let her go down. She wants to go down on her own here, but here basically the down is to start off just by do the push-pull here first, and then just keep pushing, okay? So push, push, push. There she goes. When she's down, I'm going to do a little push and pull with her. Okay, a little push and pull. Again, she has the choke chain on, but how I use it, the reason I have it on her, isn't about bringing undue force on the dog, okay? Like some people would crank on the choke chain. It's to help me so she doesn't slip out. If she pulls back, I can lock in with her. I'm no danger of her taking off on me. So, but again, any device is just that. It's an extension of how you think, okay? So, but let's like the down position. I'm not using down, or you say down, but it's the pushing. But again, I'm just saying it's mind and body. It's like two trains traveling side by side down the tracks. The physical force, your physical force isn't what's really doing it. So don't try to push beyond the parameters of your mind, okay? Which means that this is a kind of a cool technique. When you do this, you'll start to kind of get what I'm saying. You'll start to get a sense that there's more happening here than just trying to use force to create it, okay? It's not that. It's relational. So for example, when I'm pushing on a dog's back, you saw how I'm doing it. You do the sit first. I might do 3 or 4 sits with a good push-pull. The mind, the head will turn into me. I know that some dominoes are dropping, and then after, say, the 3rd or 4th sit, where I'm doing the push-pull technique, and I know that I'm in good alignment, okay? The dog was well within the follower script. It's in a calm state. I'll just keep pushing, okay? But when I'm pushing, though, I understand it's imagery, Okay, it's not about physical force. You're not trying to squash your dog like some bug. Okay, that's not how that works here. In fact, if it doesn't work out and you're pushing a certain amount of influence coming online, you don't try to keep going. Okay, in fact, you'll move forward to another sit. Hey, sit. It'll all happen the way it should. So even here, you see me working off Burke's here as well. So, hey. So he's a high drive dog. So the same thing as what I'm doing is, hey, sit. Putting those states, those expressive states, even with my other dog, back into the right script. Okay, so it's not about shutting them down. I'll do another video on this whole thing about how the script works with express states and how how you basically have to know context. So it's not like shutting down the drive of the dog. Okay. It's about bringing the right script, bringing the dog's state of mind within the right script. So when the express states are going beyond, like I'm fading out, right? I fade in. It's the same thing I'm doing with Burke. So here, but with Luci, here you slow it down, okay? You just continue to push, and then, but we want the dominance drop this way. So what is just a steady pressure on her mind, okay? But it all lines up so it's not unreasonable, which means I'm not going to get bitten. It all happens when it should happen, okay? But it's important to start to do it because the down position is a really good position to work off of. So for example, I might do one down to every 7 or 8 sits, okay? And now here are different contexts. Here, so start relaxing out here, right? Now sometimes people get to see when the dog starts rolling over. I don't know if you can see it really clear in the video or not, but she's laying down, she rolls over a little bit. Context. There's a reason why a dog will go on its side and roll over. So oftentimes it's not for a balance reason. It's like the protester with the picket sign. They're going into a challenge state. Okay, but so it's all context. When you see behavior, you have to know how to flip it or the right script. Okay, because it could be totally upside down on what you think. And often that's what happens, totally opposite. You have to really understand the right relational context for things. So anyway, just wanted to show update on Luci. Again, she's doing extremely well. Things are moving along. You're going to see some coming up, my other videos coming up in the coming couple of days. You're going to see off leash. Me working on off leash, okay? And working the script off leash. You're going to see me, again, more techniques, putting a little bit more defining the follower script a little bit better, and then just continue to come in the right relationship so that the bridge that's built is all going to line up. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great day.